I started to think about my death, but thinking about it outside of the year to live practice. So technically, I will be dying on February 28th of 2022. So I was thinking about how I would want to die next year, or how I will die next year, and like who I would be surrounded by, or who I would have like next to my side. And I was like, oh yeah, I would love to see friends, but most importantly, I would want to be surrounded by my family. And so I was thinking about next year being surrounded by my family and having my mom and dad at my side. And then my mind started to think like, oh, whenever my goal is to die peacefully when I'm old. That's like, that would be ideal for me. And so if I were to die peacefully when I was old, that would mean that my parents wouldn't be there. They would have already passed on. And so I was kind of, that thought just like popped into my head, and I was kind of just like, it just felt so heavy, because it's like my parents have always been there to hold my hand, kind of, in a way, through everything. And I mean, my parents are still alive. I'm very, very blessed and fortunate to not only have both my parents living, but also to have parents who fully support me in everything that I do and allow me to live my life the way that I want to live it. So I'm super privileged to even have these relationships still here on earth. And so I'm already super grateful for them, and to be around them and to exist with them. So to think that I would have to die without them is really sad. It's really sad. It's really, like, I can't imagine a situation where I would want them to be there for me more than my own death. And I think if I do have the privilege of being able to die peacefully, that they will be with me in some type of way. I think I will like be able to carry them with me throughout my whole life, enough to where when I am presented with my death, that I'll be able to have them by my side even if they aren't physically there. So it's comforting to know that I'll have them in my heart forever, but them not physically being there is quite sad for me. Good morning, everybody. It's day 26. I just got done doing my yoga practice for the day, and I wanted to talk about what I was feeling these like last night and like kind of this morning, related to like a video I already posted about feeling lonely and dealing with loneliness and coping. And I was thinking about it this morning and trying to relate my loneliness into my death practice, because if we think about it, like if we're gonna die, then like, why do I need to feel this way? Why am I feeling low when I at most times feel like super content with my life? And when I think about death, how that kind of like frees me up and allows me to make the choices that I need to make for myself. And so now that I'm like kind of experiencing that lonely feeling again, it manifests in ways that are thoughts for me, like, I don't like anyone, no one likes me, no one cares about me, I'm here all alone, no one cares about what I'm going through, I have no one to talk to, I don't want to talk to anyone, and just kind of like spirals in my head whenever I feel that way. And so now that I've been raising my awareness, I can witness those thoughts and try not to judge myself for having those thoughts, and try to just accept myself, like, okay, we're obviously feeling kind of low right now, you know, just let those feelings arise and then let them fall and pass as much as they need to. So I'm kind of just linking that with my death practice, and you know, even though I know I'm going to die in a year, I still feel, you know, low emotions or feelings of low or weakness, and just being okay with that, trying to remove the inner critic and the inner judge as much as possible, and just being aware that they are just thoughts and feelings and they will pass, and allowing myself to think of love and how I can use love to transform my feeling of loneliness into an opportunity to be with myself, to get to know myself better, to spend more time with myself, to take care of myself the way I need to take care of myself, to show up for myself how I want to show up for myself, and to do the things that I need to do for myself. So yeah, that's what I was thinking about last night and this morning, and just like, you know, how this death practice can influence the influx of daily emotions. And yeah, so hope everyone's having a good day. It's funny, like, I don't really know how to daily vlog, so this is all just like trial and error. So I have my candle lit when I set my intention for my yoga practice in the morning. So yeah, that's what's going on right now. So yeah, hope everyone has a good day. Good morning, everyone. It's day 31, and just wanted to share a moment that I had last night with my Year to Live practice. I am going to the beach today with a few of my coworkers, and I was really excited about it yesterday, and I was just like wiggling around in my excitement and joy, and I was laying in bed and I realized that there was no guarantee that I would wake up or that I would make it to this event that I'm excited for. And so I was just like thinking about how, like, even though we may be super excited about something, that we can still die, and we might not ever see the fulfillment of that excitement or the fulfillment of that experience that we're excited for. And then after like I had that thought, I just like slipped into this place of just deep gratitude that I even had the opportunity to be excited, and that I have such like a fun event planned in general, and that a lot of people might not have things that they look forward to, or that they're just feeling excited about. And so I just felt really grateful that I even had the opportunity to be excited about something, and to look forward to the next day, and to realize that the next day might not come, and to be okay with that, and be okay thinking that if I don't get to see the next day, that I'll still be really blessed in the end. So yeah, I just wanted to share that moment that I had with you. Thanks. Hi everyone. Today is day 35 of my death practice. I think I missed a few days here and there in recording. I think the last day was like day 25 or day 26 that I recorded. But yeah, I just need to get in the habit of being able to record when things are happening, but I still have a few things that I'm thinking about currently, and like what's coming up into my awareness, and so just a few things that I want to share. So I think one of the, actually the first things that I started thinking about, which is now coming into like my full-blown awareness, is just having thoughts about old relationships and like old friendships that didn't really end well for me. I think for some people, like I was relating to my roommate about this, that is also taking a Year to Live practice, and they were saying that for them, they're starting to think of people that they want to connect with again, or to reignite like an old friendship. And it's kind of the opposite for me. Like, I have a handful of friendships that didn't really end on a great note. And like, I think about these people pretty often, I would say, that I haven't spoken to for X amount of years. But I like always think of them, and they are always on my mind. And I've already reached the point in the past where, you know, when I think of these people, I wish them nothing but well and hope that only good things happen to them. You know, I'm very separated from whatever judgments I used to have of them or reasons why we had a falling out. But even though I've like reached that point, I still have like this guilt attached to me that I just don't think is fully healed. Like, there's still something there. And, you know, using this death practice, it's like, this was one of the first things to like really come up for me since we've only been doing this for a month, is like, not necessarily like repairing an old relationship, but kind of owning up to who I was and what I did and what happened, rather than kind of like ignoring it. Because it's like I said, it's always been there for me. Like, I consistently think of these people, and like sometimes I'll look them up on social media and like see what they're up to, and just like, you know. So yeah, I've just been reflecting on those old relationships and wondering if it's right for me to reach out to people in order to apologize or give some type of apology, or like what I'm supposed to do with that feeling. Because for some of them, I know I won't reach out because there isn't a point to reaching out, but others, like, I think there is a possibility for me to reach out to say something. But even though like maybe that's what I want to reach out and I want to say something for myself, I also want it to be a mutually beneficial experience to where they also experience some type of healing of the situation, that frees them more and like loosens whatever, loosens the way that we affected each other negatively, possibly. But it's also like, I don't know these people anymore. I don't know if they're in a headspace to do that or if that's allowed. So kind of just still grappling with the idea of that and what it looks like. But I did come to one realization about these old relationships and how in the past, these people who were in my life, there was like something about them that I didn't like for whatever reason. But now that I've done years of self-reflecting, and I realized that they represented something in me that I didn't like about myself. So instead of talking about it or working through it or understanding them on a more deep level, I chose to abandon them. And yeah, I mean, it's just like, I mean, that's the person that I was. So those are the choices that I made, and those are the actions that I did. And I'm just like not afraid to own up to that and to admit that and then to apologize for that, because it's like such a messed up thing to do, but I didn't know any better at the time. And yeah, so it's just it's a weird, interesting thing coming up, and like, I don't know, being able to own up to that person of who I was is uncomfortable. But yeah. Another thing that I'm working on that's been coming up for the past few weeks is really trying to reestablish my connection with my own body. And I was thinking about this the other day on how my body contains my entire history. It's been with me through everything and has literally grown through my entire life. and how we rely so much on memories to kind of create this story of ourselves, and only on what we can remember with our brain. But there's so much that our body remembers and that our body knows that we ignore because we're so stuck up in our head, which is so true for me. Like, I have existed in my head for like decades of my life. And I mean, I only have a year left, but I want to know what my body has to tell me after all this time. I want to deepen that connection with my body. So some of the things that I'm doing are just reciting affirmations to myself and to my body in order to draw my mind's awareness out of my head and into my body, understanding that there is a whole unspoken language within my body, and knowing that I'm the only one that can interpret that language in order to understand what I need to know from myself. And so, yeah, just trying to deepen that connection, trying to listen more. And it also links to this feeling that I have of when I think about my death practice, and when I think about this entire year and what it's gonna look like and what I'm gonna be doing and what experiences I'm gonna have. A lot of the year for me is being alone and being with myself and paying attention to myself and listening to how I can learn how to channel my wisdom and communicate it to others, and kind of interpret what's going on in here in order for others to understand. And it doesn't really involve a lot of outside forces. Of course, like, I still want to have fun with friends, and I still want to do fun things, and I want to go places. But yeah, I know deep within here that a lot of it is going to be spent alone, and a lot of it is going to be healing myself in order to carry myself on after this year is up, no matter what happens. Another thing that I have been going through this past month, since we're 35 days into the practice now, so another thing that's been on my mind is being able to accept myself in every moment for who I am, and being okay when I'm not necessarily full of joy or full of like ecstatic excitement, and yeah, being able to accept myself even if I'm not necessarily having the best day ever. So I'm just gonna read you this little entry that I wrote, because I feel like it kind of encapsulates more of what I've been experiencing. So it says, some days are better than others, and sometimes you're not even feeling low, you're just feeling neutral. But you want to feel perfect, but we're not perfect. There's no reason to be mad or angry that we don't feel perfect at every moment. This creates dissonance with our present. Rather, we should accept ourselves for who we are in every moment. It's okay not to be perfect. It's okay to feel like something's off. It's okay to be neutral. It's okay to be low. Trust your body, trust your intuition. You're made of love. Your loving self will guide you to where you need to be. We are not perfect, so we will not feel perfect all the time. It's impossible. So yeah, I think when you think about living a full life and just being grateful and having so much fun, and then when you encounter a day where you don't feel grateful, or you're not having the most amount of fun, for me, I tend to spiral down. And I'm like, why am I not having fun? Why am I not having the best day ever? Like, I've been doing this before, like I should be doing it now. And just being able to hear when I'm telling myself those things, when I'm beating myself up, when I'm criticizing myself, and taking a step back and saying, okay, yes, we're not having the best day ever. That's okay. And it doesn't mean that this day is lost. It doesn't mean that I'm confused. It just means that I need to practice self-acceptance right now. That's what my mind is telling me. That's what my body is telling me. My body is saying, please accept me for who I am. Please accept me for where you are right now. And I need to listen to that voice down here. So that's what I'm trying to do in reestablishing this connection with my body, because my body is constantly telling me to accept myself. And my mind is like, no, you cannot accept this unless it is absolutely perfect. And that voice is just overplayed in my head, and I have no more use for it. And all I want to do is accept myself for who I am in every moment. And if I'm feeling low, it's okay. I feel low. Feel it for a little bit, because you don't have to feel forever. It never lasts forever. So just accepting myself in that low moment, being okay with being low, being thankful that I get to be low, and suddenly I start to get to work myself out of that low place through gratitude, through love, and transform myself into a higher level, whether that higher level be neutral or that higher level be ecstatic joy. Because it's okay to be neutral too. It's actually great to be neutral, and to experience life in a neutral zone and not have to vibrate so intensely that we miss that high vibration so much that we get caught up in, we get lost in the mix of trying to be something that we can't always be. I think the main idea behind all of this is self-love and loving yourself enough to go into the dark spaces that you have and into those shadow areas, and going in there and looking at it and saying, okay, this is my time to challenge myself. This is my time to learn what opportunities I can present myself with, and learn what areas still need my attention, and learn how to connect with myself deeper. And yeah, it's constant work. It's every day. It's if not every hour, if not every moment, it's all the time for me. Yeah, so it's been 35 days. I don't think I've had too many off days. I would honestly say I've only had 2 off days in these 35 days. But yeah, I know that when I encounter another off day, or when I encounter another low emotion or a negative emotion, that I am practicing how to work myself more into a neutral place. So the other day, I think on day 33, that day was entirely devoted to productivity. So on that day, I got a car wash, I filled up my tires, got gas, I cleaned my car entirely, and then I came home and I cleaned my room, and I cleaned the kitchen and the bathroom. And then after that, I went to work for 8 hours, and I came home and I was exhausted. And it was weird to reflect on the day as it being a day where I had to take care of things in order for life to kind of run more smoothly. So I was just curious about how much time or how many days that we spend in order to allow the rest of our life to kind of go through that flow. Because if I didn't do all those things in that day, then I would have to either scatter them out throughout the other days, or I would just be living in a state of resistance with my present moment because things were not taken care of the way that I want them to be taken care of. So I thought that was interesting, and just something random that I kind of want to share. There's nothing too deep there. So I think my final thoughts for this vlog, these past 2 weeks since my last entry, is that knowing that there's so many things that can happen in a year. Every week is so long. Every day is so long for me, because there's just so many things that happen, and there's just so many things to pay attention to. And being able to give my attention fully to all of the things around me, and just letting things exist as the way that they are, and knowing that every moment that I go through is painting this big picture of what this last year of my life is going to look like. And knowing that every moment that I dedicate to myself is a moment that I'm dedicating to the big picture of this last year and what's going to happen throughout this entire year, and how I'm going to grow and how I'm going to change and how I'm going to level up in this entire last year of my life. So it's like, it's a big responsibility, but it's also like the only responsibility to me. The only thing that I have to do is pay attention to myself and like lift myself up as much as I possibly can every moment of every day, and just take advantage of everything that's around me and live in a state of peace and like coexistence, rather than in a state of want and like desire and I need this and I need that, and just being happy with what I have. And yeah, because I don't have the time or the energy to waste to fog up my brain about things that just don't matter to me anymore. And I'm so deeply committed to who I am and how I want to live that I am not going to allow things that don't align with me or relationships that don't align with me to enter into my life and take up space that there is no longer room for. So quite a crazy last year to live, a very intense month so far, 35 days. I just can't believe it's already been 35 days and don't even know what's in store for the next 35 days and the month of April in general. But yeah, please let me know what you think of this vlog style. I did not use my audio device to record any audio, so I think the audio sounds fine, and I think it would be more interesting if I could record more often, so that way you can truly like see how I'm processing things day to day and kind of what's popping up for me on different days, rather than just having this like last ending part that's like a culmination of so many days all together, and just getting more glimpses into the day-to-day behind a year to live. So let me know if you like this style, or if you liked the style of the last one where I just had everything all in one video and kind of pulled from my memory. But yeah, I mean, I have a great time making these no matter what, so please just let me know. I really appreciate you watching. Thank you so much for being here. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and please share with anyone that you know is interested in this topic. It's kind of crazy how many people out there are starting to pop up that are also studying death in some type of way, or integrating death into their day-to-day life without being a part of a year to live. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Bye.